I think Stroman, even with some of the baggage that he brings here, is an absolute perfect fit with the Yankees. He wants to be out there in the big spot.
Erik Boland from Newsday is with us. So how's the offense looking? How you doing, Erik?
I'm doing okay, but not nearly as well as the Yankees offense at this point. I mean, Juan Soto, his first game as a Yankee, he was as advertised, opposite field, off the scoreboard. A few of you guys, Kratz, obviously, you first and foremost. You don't see a lot of guys go opposite field off the scoreboard here, so that was really something to see. I only saw it on replay because I was actually in Clearwater yesterday watching Marcus Stroman's debut, and I think he's going to be a huge addition too. Obviously, Soto's the headline acquisition that everybody's talking about, but I think Stroman, even with some of the baggage that he brings here, is an absolute perfect fit with the Yankees because he comes into a clubhouse that's already was established guys like Judge and Cole and Stanton and LeMahieu. You can go down the list. He just has to worry about pitch. And you look at his career numbers, and Adam Jones obviously can attest to this better than I can. Stroman's a pretty good pitcher, and he also has, you know what, he wants to be out there in the big spot. You certainly need to do that to be able to pitch in New York. So, look, I mean, I've covered this team for 15 years. This is my 16th year. I'm about the furthest thing from a homer when it comes to covering this team. But I think that given health, they're going to be pretty good.
What kind of baggage were you talking about, Erik? With the were you talking about? Did you hint on the baggage that Jonesy was talking about, or is there other baggage that could be an issue with Stro?
No, I mean, Adam would certainly know a lot more than I would, and I'm talking more about the social media, missteps and some of the, issues that he's had with the media over the years. And I will say this, as someone who's been in the business a long time, and maybe you guys as ex-players will be shocked to hear me say this. I think a lot of the problems at times that we have with you guys is of our making and not necessarily of yours. But that said, I mean, Marcus obviously has been thin-skinned over certain things, and and I know that people in Toronto were probably ready for him to move on when they traded him to the Mets a number of years ago. But again, when you just look at him as a player and you look at what he's done, he started big playoff games. He's pitched in the AL East and had success. I don't think any of those past issues are going to crop up in his time with the Yankees.
But isn't that what the Yankees need? Like, it's been so blue collar, shaved. Now they go with the nasty mustaches. But like, she's inked up like Subway in Harlem. That's a rap line. But he brings that edge that the Yankees haven't had in a long time. It's been clean cut. It's been just go play good baseball. But now you got somebody who is not afraid to toe the line a little bit. Do you think that it's finally time for the Yankees to have somebody like that?
Well, they said that a couple of years ago, Adam, when they brought Josh Donaldson in, and so it wasn't quite the edge that maybe was looking for. But that said, if Josh had recaptured an MVP form and it hit, yeah, as you guys know better than anyone, if you perform between the lines, none of this other BS matters. So, I do sometimes disagree with the notion that the Yankees are a buttoned-up outfit. They certainly are at times, and the facial hair policy is archaic and probably should be done away with. But that's well above my pay grade, and it's not going to change anytime soon. But, Aaron Judge has an edge that people don't always necessarily take note of, because when you see him in front of the cameras and in front of reporters, he's always exceedingly polite, et cetera. But, I've covered him since he was drafted in 2013, and Kratz could certainly, give testimony to this. Behind the scenes, he does have a little bit more than people edge than people give him credit for, but there's no question. I mean, the Stro Show is something entirely different, and yes, the long-winded answer that I'm giving you, I think he actually will be a positive addition to this clubhouse and not a negative at all.
I agree totally. He's a guy that sometimes he's misunderstood, man, but he goes after it and plays. My question to you, Erik, give me a guy in this camp right now that not a big name, a guy we already know most of the guys that are going to make the club. Give me a name that's going under the radar that you're going to be like, all right, in the next 1 or 2 years, this guy's going to make a strong impact for the Yankees.
Well, I'll go with the other outfielder, and I use air quotes on that, in Trent Grisham. I'm talking to Jace Tingler, who managed him for a couple of years in San Diego. He's been Rocco's bench coach with Minnesota last couple of years. But I talked to him after the Yankees made that trade, and he said, this guy is a premium defender. And as you guys know, an issue with the Yankees that they've had over the years is they really have not been a great defensive team. And Grisham, everybody that I've talked to, again, former teammates, former manager, scouts who follow the National League say this guy's underrated on the defensive side of the ball. And I feel kind of silly actually talking about center field defense with Adam Jones next to me. But, I think he's going to, as a reserve outfielder, is really going to help them a lot. And there's a little extra, there's some pop in that bat from the left side that I think is going to be a benefit to the Yankees as well. And he's bulked up considerably. One of the things, talking to Jace Tingler actually about a half an hour ago during Twins BP, he saw Grisham. Grisham came over and they caught a little bit and he came back and he said, wow, he said, it looks like he was on the Aaron Judge offseason conditioning program in terms of his physique. So I think he's going to be a sneaky good addition to them.
Question though, best case scenario for that rotation, because Judge is in center field, Soto's in right, DH is Stanton, Verdugo's in left. What's the best case scenario for Trent to get as many at bats as possible?
They don't want Aaron Judge to man center field 6 or 7 days a week. I mean, obviously,
big guy. I just seen it.
Big guy.
So
now,
big.
It is, and people forget this, that you guys as players know this, but we sometimes in the media, when Judges played center over the years, act like it's a unicorn-like effect and say, oh, look at the big fella running around in center field. And that offends Aaron to a degree for this reason. The vast majority of his time at Fresno State in college, he was a center fielder and a really good one. Mm-hmm. And so just because he is a big guy, it's not some kind of a neat outlier thing that he can actually play that position very well. That said, it's the most taxing of the outfield positions, obviously, and that's not something, especially with some of the freak injuries that he had over the years. So I think Grisham's going to see his share of time. But you're right. I mean, do they have it laid out exactly what it's going to be? And maybe in the early part of the season, he may not see as much time out there as he would like, but. Again, as you guys know, it's such a long season. I think by year's end, he'll find his way in there easily 100-plus games. Okay.
Hey, two things. One, what do they do in the outfield when Dominguez comes back? Because he's going to have to play somewhere when he comes back, right? They're not going to. I mean, that's a bigger logjam. And then with the Bellinger contract, do you think this opens the door even more for Snell to become a Yankee? And is that offer still on the table? And has it moved since we first heard about it?
Well, it was taking Dominguez first. He's coming off of Tommy John. The best case scenario, he comes back in June at some point. Look, he had an electric debut. We all know what he did in that Houston series when he first came up September 1st. And then in the ensuing games after that, he played 8 games and then suffered the UCL injury. But the reality is that he spent a very short amount of time in AAA. He only has 8 big league games under his belt. This isn't a guy who's going to get cleared to play, let's say, June 20th, and they're just going to insert him every day as the center fielder. So, whenever he is cleared to play, and that's assuming that there's no setbacks, and all of you guys have come back from injuries over the years. These rehabs don't always go seamlessly. He's going to go to AAA, get his feet under him, and then to use a Joe Girardi line from when he managed here, worry about tomorrow. They're not projecting that far ahead when it comes to how they're going to fit Dominguez in. It's a problem that they certainly will like to have. As for Blake Snell, I mean, look, if the contract demands come down significantly. It's clear that the Yankees have stayed engaged with Scott Boras on it. I can't tell you I'll do something that people in my business don't always do. You asked me a direct question about a current situation. I haven't checked on that, so I'm going to say I don't know if that exact same offer is on the table. But I can't tell you, again, they've stayed engaged with Scott Boras, and it's a player that they're certainly interested in, but not one that they feel they absolutely have to have, and that they have to meet Scott at his contract demands, at least what they were as of a few weeks ago.
Hey, we'll finish with this, Erik. Getting a lot of different questions thrown our way from fans. I'll kind of pick one to finish up here. A lot of fans asking about injuries for the Yankees. I mean, last year that was a problem and an excuse because there's other teams that deal with injuries. Fans are just asking if there's any kind of difference this year in terms of how they're going to handle players, whether it's workload on the field, strength and conditioning. Obviously, Giancarlo looks different. And does a lot of it have to do with some of these players just being deeper into their 30s now? So what's your take on how this team can be healthier?
I mean, slight adjustments, and certainly not all players are created equal, and so you're going to treat a DJ LeMahieu, a Giancarlo Stanton differently in terms of maintenance and even the offseason work that they did. And you mentioned Giancarlo, who, people said he came in slimmed down. That's like saying there's just a little bit of traffic on the Cross Bronx Expressway in New York. I mean, he came in looking like a completely different human being altogether, still with about 0% body fat, which he's always had. I got a kick out of some of the coverage of him coming in, looking the way that he did, and it was almost as if he had never been the most in-shape guy. I mean, you guys as players know and talk, and the guys that are known for having particularly sculpted physiques, and Giancarlo, that's never been a problem, but he obviously decided that he needed to drop a lot of that muscle mass, and because he had so many lower body injuries over the years with the Yankees, and just redid his physique altogether. He's debuting later today. We'll see how that works. But, as I was saying, with the veteran guys and Rizzo, you throw into that mix too in terms of load management. I'm sure you love that one, Adam. I know your former manager, Buck Showalter, made some headlines over the winter talking about that and got a kick out of that. But, you're going to treat those veteran guys differently than, let's say, an Anthony Volpe who played 159 games last year. So, some minor adjustments, but they still have the same people in charge of their, medical department. And look, it's a secret sauce that all 30 teams are trying to figure out. You have a bunch of these, data science experts and et cetera that feel that they have found the answers over the years. But the reality is that the injury rate for players has never been higher, whether it be for position players or for pitchers.
Erik, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh wait, Adam, we got to do a strip change, bud.
I got to bother him with this Orioles question. You see?
No, we got to go, dude. We got to.
Okay, never mind then, Erik.
Sorry, I hate to be the bad guy. I got to let you jump, Erik. We got Marinaccio. He's got a game, so he's going to run in for you. Sorry,
he definitely
Adam.
takes precedence.
I don't like to cut it.
He pitched yesterday in Clearwater, did well, so he doesn't really have a lot to do today. But yeah, I should never take precedence over a player or an ex-player for that matter, or
I'll
just
tell
about
him you
anybody.
said that. He's got the day off. Well, Erik, thanks for stopping by. We'll post some of these clips so everyone can give you a follow on Twitter and check out all your work in Newsday. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks, guys. Enjoyed being on with you again.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.